Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and we've got several pieces of news for you here in today's video. So stay tuned. I wasn't going to do a full video on this, so I'm going to squeeze in an easy farm team, kind of end game, but still an easy farm for the low stages of the Phantom Shogun's Grove. If you want to just blast through and farm those pots up, and maybe inspire you with some ideas for how to build a nice, quick, and easy team if you don't have like the perfect setup and max HP stuff like Newt. Really good for the higher levels, not so crucial for the lower levels. Anyway, we'll break it down after we cover the news. So the first bit of news, in fact, there's a couple of bits really tied in with the Call of the Arbiter. The finale here is coming tomorrow with the Tower episode. I can actually show you a few screenshots from it, which look really cool. So, I mean, it's all about Doom Tower. It looks freaking badass right here. We can see the entrance way. Again, I believe these are stills or promotional artwork from the series itself. We have had these for the other Call of the Arbiter episodes, but I haven't shown them. I love this one. This one in particular looks really cool, giving you that sense of Doom Tower, which is going to be the finale. I'm curious, what do you think? Would they do, or should they do, like a fourth Doom Tower rotation? Or like a surprise harder difficulty? Could that be coming? We obviously have no info on that. I'd be surprised if it was. I'd be surprised, but man, that would be a cool little twist to go alongside this. Don't think it's the case. What we know is coming is a quadruple void 10x event. So 4 champions are going to be up for 10x tomorrow. That's Thursday, it's the 20th of July. Guess what they are? You probably guessed it already. The Supreme Champions. So Supreme Aethel is one, Supreme Alhain, Supreme Galek, and Supreme Kale. In my opinion, not a great 10x event, actually. Obviously, it's thematic. It makes sense that they would do it, but it's not great. So Supreme Alhain, you could have got from the fusion, so you could have her already. Dupe is always nice, but, not really exciting. Not where you want your Void legendary pull, resetting your Mercy to go. So Alhain, pretty bad. Supreme Aethel, unfortunately, again, not an amazing champion, just not super useful. So yeah, as you can see, the reviews speak for themselves. Again, another champion nobody wants, really. Supreme Kale. This guy has been, people like him. People like him. Personally, I went for the guaranteed for this. I do have Supreme Kale, but as you have seen, I have not done any videos on him. I have yet to use him. He's been guarding the vault, basically. He's certainly not useless, though. I think there are some teams for like Dragon Hard, where he comes in because he's got poisons, can extend. And certainly it's that future-proof idea of increased accuracy and an irresistible decreased resistance, both in the same move on a 3-turn cooldown. That's really good. That's really cool. But it does sort of raise that question of whether or not it will be useful. As of yet, hasn't been useful. Certainly could be very strong at some point in the future, but it's sort of a gamble on the future. Would I be doing a 10x to try get Supreme Kale? Honestly, the answer is no. The best Supreme Champion, in my opinion, right now is Supreme Galek. Scratch used him to amazing effect in the Hydra Content Creator Clash. But Supreme Galek, he comes in as probably the best burner for Hydra. AoE burn with block buffs and potentially decrease speed. He can also explode those burns with his A2. He can be cleansing himself, getting an extra turn and fully healed based off like the fears and true fears and provokes the Hydra throws out. Can extend HP burns here. It's just a great move. This move is so strong for Hydra. So he's extremely good there. I'd be giving him a 5 out of 5 for Hydra. Absolutely top tier champion right there. So he is amazing. But here's the thing. Would I be pulling for Supreme Galek when I could hit one of the other 3 Supremes at the same time? My answer has to be no. There's so many good Void legendaries. It just doesn't make sense. I certainly think that, if you're going to pull for a 10x, I mean, Valkanen, at least he's brand new. He looks quite interesting for Hydra. Killing one of your own champions to reset the Devour timer. That's cool with AoE Hex. He seems interesting. And bringing in that block revive for Arena, plus the 30% speed aura. I think he's quite a cool champion. So I'd rather pull for him if I was going to pull for a 10x. And yeah, I'm not even sure. Even that's a little bit of a gamble because we're not sure exactly how good he actually is. You could just wait for a 10x event for something actually really good, So there we go. That is sort of the news that is happening right there. We also, by the way, have the red dot has baited me in once again. Hopefully this red dot goes away when this deck of fate ends. Who knows, man? It's been a constant torment here. We do have two things happening tomorrow. Dragon turn attack. So this might very likely be giving you more of those prism shards. So it could be interesting. And also champion training. And the person who comes first place in their champion training tournament can get Newt's iconic Fire Knight skin. This is likely to be a bloodbath, right? It's going to require so many points because Newt is a very hyped champion right now. And this is actually a very cool skin. A lot of people are going to be going for this, I think, and going hard. So yeah, you're going to have to commit, I think, a lot to get this skin. It's up to you. This could be crazy. Like, I could genuinely see people putting up 50,000, 100,000 points or something nuts. So really be prepared for a huge battle if you want to get this skin. I think it's unfortunately mostly going to be like a Kraken or yeah, pretty much a Kraken thing, because there's going to be whales fighting for this, no doubt. And then there's probably going to be a Kraken who swoops in and wins. So be careful as well. I will say about that. Be careful about wasting your resources and failing. I would say it's probably no harm in grabbing the rewards. There's probably going to be like a legendary book up there. So you could go grab that. Maybe double dip. You could do dragon with some food in there and sort of work on both at the same time. That stuff is always viable, especially if you got some energy from personal reward from clan versus clan. So that is cool. What I then finally wanted to show you here in this video, just to squeeze in a little bit extra, was the team I've been using for the lower stages here of the Phantom Shogun's Grove. So this will work very well on stage 7 and very well on stage 11 for speed farming. These are two of the more efficient stages that are lower in. So I'll show you this team on stage 7 first, then I'll show it on stage 11. But the team concept here is pretty simple. Okay, we're going to come in. Arbiter is going to boost us up with increased attack. We're actually going to have an ally attack just because it does lots of damage. That will land a weaken, right? Going to get more poison. So Mithrala actually landing lots. We've got bang, and look at that. 2 damage dealers, and boom, he's dead in 11 seconds. If you're running at unlimited frames and you're not recording a video, you can do it in 9 seconds. If we jump over, I show you this team on stage 11. I was just getting some stats ready for you. So stage 11, the main thing that's tougher, he just has more health. If I show you this, this is sort of puts it in context of it being fairly easy in terms of stats, right? He has 260 speed, so he's quite fast actually, but 260 speed on stage 7, 280 speed on stage 11. This is something that could be quite tricky, right? To actually go faster than the boss. Yes, with this, we're going to have Arbiter, or you could bring in anyone else, because Mithrala actually brings increased attack as well. You could bring in anyone with a nice turn meter boost, and they could do the job probably just fine. Turn meter boost, like for example, you could use, what's her name? That recent fusion, the Undead Horde one, that turn meter boost. I've forgotten. Morrigan. You could bring in Morrigan for speed aura, turn meter boost, then use Mithrala. But getting your damage dealers to go before 280 speed, even with the speed boost, could be a little bit intensive, so watch out. As you can see though, the accuracy requirements are absolutely tiny for both stages, so you don't need to worry. And what we've got going on here, Arbiter is nice because she lands a weaken with the ally attack from Farrakhan, so that's a nice bonus. Lots of poisons from the ally attack with Mithrala as well. And then we're going to have Ragash. He's a damage dealer who lands decreased defense. You just want to bring in your strongest damage dealers, right? Who's going to do the most single target damage, and can we get a decreased defense in there as well? There are a lot of options. You do need to watch the affinity for these stages. These are the most efficient stages, and they are green affinity, or I should say the most efficient stages generally speaking, before you get up to like stage 24, 25. Here you can see the boss is much tankier this time along. One brilliant thing about Ragash, wait for it, look at that. On his second move, he actually has a non-attacking move as well, so he doesn't crank up the Shogun counter of the boss. Now, it actually doesn't end up being a huge deal because we're doing so much damage to the boss anyway. Ragash has the most crit damage, so he is the one that is targeted. But you could probably get away with it just fine if you got 2 damage dealers that are going to hit really hard. There we got resisted, so you can see without the decreased defense, it does become a bit worse. So you'd have to just sort of prepare for that a little bit and work around it. We're going to use this for Mithrala. I think I had her open with her A1. We could maybe not have her open with A1, open with the other thing, doing decent damage there. And now Mithrala is going to come in and cleanse. Here we go. We've been cleansed off. He does get some counters on him from that cleanse. Ragash is going to build up some, but it shouldn't be a huge deal. We finish him off with Krutraxa. So even if stuff goes wrong and your decreased defense gets resisted, this still works really, really well. So what is the concept behind this team? Very simple. My Arbiter is 360 speed. She's just there to speed boost, really. Farrakhan is just slower than that. He's 250. Doesn't really matter. He does have more than, I mean, 200 accuracy, and you've got plenty for this. He comes in with obviously that ally attack. It actually gives you increased crit rate, so you could even lower the crit rate on your other champions if you wanted. Wouldn't really recommend it, but you can. And he also brings some more damage with the burns and the poison. He's got these masteries. Arbiter has these. Next up, Mithrala. I actually have her open with her A1, but you could have her open with her A2. I think the reason I have her open with her A1 is just to set up open with A1, then priority 1 Sigil of Toxic Glory, priority 2 Brimming Cyclics for stage 11, so she gets the cleanse and stops us weak hitting with our other damage dealers. As you saw, if stuff goes wrong, this is just important to ensure that even if everything goes wrong that's possible, we're still going to have everything to kill the boss. For stage 7, you could have her just open with Sigil of Toxic Glory to get the increased defense, to increase attack if you need them, you know, or just poisons for damage. That's cool too. So she is coming in, 250 speed, and we might re-gear her at some point. She's still in an old arena sort of build. Probably going to re-gear her for Hydra and for the higher stages as well of the Phantom Shogun's Grove. We'll have to work out. I still haven't quite worked out the speed tune for stage 24 with like slower champions than I had in the test server. For the damage, we have Ragash going first. So I do have him good and quick, 239. Lots of damage right here. But he's brilliant because he brings in that decreased defense and it hits hard. And then he also has got a non-attack on his second move. So that's perfect. And he has these masteries. Then we have Krutraxa, just big single target damage. She's not even built in that insane gear for what you might be using on what you might see from like endgame players. 5.5k attack, 237% crit damage. It's nothing too insane, but she does have good high speed, 235, just to farm things smoothly. I've used her for lower levels of Fire Knight. I use Ragash all the time in Arena, and he's amazing. Krutraxa has these masteries, by the way. She's in lethal set, so Helm Smasher stacks well. If you don't have lethal, you can put her in Giant Slayer. That's really good too. Helm Smasher is a bit better for Arena. Giant Slayer is sort of equally good for Dungeons. So it's sort of your choice for that. But that's basically what's going on. Ragash, by the way, he's in Lethal as well. So it's kind of worth to get them in Savage. But there you go. Nice, simple enough farm for those lower stages and get some of those basic Ascensions quickly. Very little time invested. You know, come in and, oh, I want to find my best crit damage necklace with crit damage. Brilliant, cool. That's a bit of extra damage. I'll take it. Maybe a bit of extra accuracy if I need it. That's cool. Not a very important use of your time, but kind of a nice bonus if you're trying to squeeze a bit extra out of, in particular, your arena champions. So yeah, let me know. Are you going to pull? I'm surprised if you are, but hey, are you pulling for the Void 10x tomorrow for Supreme stuff? Are you excited for the end of Call of the Arbiter? And what teams have you been using to farm the new dungeon? There we go. Thank you for watching, guys. I wish you all the best of luck if you do decide as well to go for that Newt skin. I am tempted, but also not that tempted. We'll check in tomorrow anyway. We'll see how the Dragon Turn attack is going. We'll see how this champ training is looking. Might do the 2 in the 1 video to condense it a little bit. But I'll see you all then. Catch you then. Goodbye.